Hello, my friends. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd, and I'd like to welcome you to 13th century Japan in Ghost of Tsushima. This is an absolutely stunningly beautiful and deeply relaxing game set on the island of Tsushima. It came out for PS4 way back in 2020, but it only just came out on PC with enhanced graphics. And I've had many requests over the years to do a video with this game because, as you can probably already tell, the environments are stunning in both their look and their sound. But I had to wait until it came to PC to finally wander in Ghost of Tsushima. This fellow here is our protagonist, Jin Sakai, and he will be our avatar for these wanders. If you're concerned about spoilers, I will say this is right at the very beginning of the game. I've barely played it, just gotten out of the starting part, the prologue, if you will, and been turned loose here in the open world. So, we're not going to see anything that's from further into the game or the story. I think what we're going to do here is begin our wander in this gorgeous field of pampas grass. The sun is just setting, so we've got this gorgeous golden light spilling through the trees and down across the field, lighting the mist with a warm glow. And we will make our way down to the lakeside, and then across the lake and over to the golden forest, and then do you see across the lake and above the forest the beautiful spire of a tower? That is the Golden Temple. I think that is where we will head today. It looks like the sun is now dipping down below the horizon. That warm glow is slowly fading in the western sky, and a soft gray twilight descends upon Tsushima Island. I love the way the mist clings to grassy surface of the lake and fills the little pockets of the field. Evidently, this is Lake Izuhara. Lake Izuhara. Looks like there are little fireflies out as the evening falls. You can also hear the ambience has shifted as night falls, and as we approach the lake here, the insects and creatures have changed. It looks to be a clear night with countless stars scattered across the inky sky above. Oh, little firefly there. There's some loud ducks and then something else as well. A bird I'm not familiar with. Here along the pebbly lake shore, the water laps gently at the smooth stones. All manner of creatures out there in the night, calling away. In the middle of Lake Izuhara, we have here this picturesque little island with a small stand of what look to be cedar trees. Judging by their bark and foliage, I love the bark of cedar trees. It's fibrous, but soft in its own way. Oftentimes, when I set out to do a wander like this in a game, I want to wander at a certain time of day. Sometimes I want to do morning or evening, other times night. In this game, every time of day is strikingly beautiful, and so I wasn't too picky about when we wandered. Just look at that beautiful full moon shining down through the cedar boughs, creating this glow in the foliage, and these beautiful volumetric shafts of light that illuminate the gentle mist. Just stunning. Even the grass is remarkable. Look at the way the pale moonlight reflects off every blade of grass, gently waving in the soft night breeze. highlights on everything and lend an aura of magic. Now, I cannot promise that our wander will be completely peaceful. There are, of course, bad guys roaming about the countryside. Ghost of Tsushima is set during the first Mongol invasion of Japan, and our protagonist Jin here is on a mission to free his island from the Mongol occupiers. And I can't help but notice there was a bit of commotion up here on the lakeshore in the distance. It looked like perhaps a couple of Mongol bowmen fighting off a bear. We will do our best to avoid any altercations with angry invaders or angry wildlife, but sometimes these things do happen. If it becomes necessary, we will deal with the transgressors and continue our wander. I'll make sure that for you, everything remains peaceful and quiet. Not to worry. Look at that full moon reflected in the clear waters of the lake, and the way that silvery moonlight shines off every pebble and stone. That wispy smoke rising in the distance is also quite calming in its own way. Now it does look as though there is a cart aflame just up ahead. A surefire sign of pillagers along the road, Mongol or otherwise. There are, of course, also bandits that roam these woods. But it looks like whoever lit this flame is long gone, and those bowmen and the bear have moved along elsewhere, which is just perfect, because I would like for us to be able to enjoy a peaceful wander here in the golden forest. Look at the leaves gently fluttering down, blanketing the forest floor in a golden carpet. Despite the silvery light from the moon, it's easy to see why this area is called the Golden Forest. Look at that moonlight. Isn't that stunning? The way it illuminates the golden leaves. Now I am hearing just up ahead what sound like some inhabitants, some locals here. Neither Mongols nor bandits, but rather boars. But we don't want to attract their attention either. I believe they can be aggressive if provoked. And would you look at that? It looks like the night has already passed. The dawn is fast approaching. Those boars are quite loud. Let's go this way. Leave their grunting behind. I think as the dawn approaches, we will truly see why this is the Golden Forest. I expect it will be beautiful, illuminated with the warm, golden rays of dawn. Just up ahead, we can make out through the trees a small hamlet. This is a friendly place occupied by residents of Tsushima who are sympathetic to the resistance. Look, you can see dawn's first light just barely caressing the tops of the trees, painting them with a brilliant glow. I was uncertain what type of trees these were, but it's clear to me now that we take the time to slow down and look at all these leaves on the ground. These are gingko trees. Gingko trees. Gingko leaves turn a beautiful gold in the fall. Ginkgos are also an ancient type of tree, a very primitive type of tree, a fascinating species. As you can see, this small settlement is the worse for wear. Looks like they, like so many others here, have fallen prey to a Mongol attack. But at least the locals still live. Looks like they're trying to clean up, despite all the violence that was committed here. The burned out remnants of buildings. There's still even arrows in the ground. It's a humble structure, but with some care, I expect it can be restored. Dawn is rapidly approaching. has certainly seen better days, but I suspect as I play more, I will acquire more functional and eventually ornate armor. And so, if you enjoy this wander, and I do more wanders in this game in the future, perhaps you will get to see Jin slowly progressing, gaining better equipment, and looking more regal as time goes by. But for now, his garb is very humble indeed. Wonder what that rattling sound is. I hear crows or ravens calling off to the right. I wonder if that rattle is a raven. There is a species of raven that I believe is native to Japan. I saw some when I was visiting there last year. So perhaps it's those ravens. And just ahead of us, bathed in the golden dawn, is the magnificent golden temple, nestled amongst the ancient gingko trees. They could hardly be more picturesque. The Golden Temple, as far as I can tell, is a local hub of sorts, occupied by many members of the resistance, refugees and artisans alike. Look at all of the fireflies around the base of this massive ancient tree. Spreading branches far above, swaying in the breeze. So many fireflies here. And as we approach the temple, we can hear the babble of many voices. The inhabitants of this place, those driven from their homes, now finding refuge here in this holy place. There are indeed many atrocities committed during an invasion like this, and so many of the refugees here are understandably traumatized. just wander a little ways up these steps, we might find a nice view to enjoy across the temple and maybe down to the lake. Up here we have a impressive statue of whom I'm not quite sure. Oh, did you see that bird? Flew right past. And as we arrive up here, the sun comes over the distant hill, and now the golden forest and the golden temple are suffused with the golden glow of the dawn sun. The golden light bounces all around. It just seems to permeate the forest from all angles. Look at these drifts of leaves. Piles and piles of golden gingko leaves. Why don't we pick a flower while we're up here? And indeed we have found a spectacular view, haven't we? From up here, we can look back across the Golden Temple, admire the beauty of its spire, this magnificent statue here, the beautiful light of the dawn, and we can look back, down, across the lake, and between the branches and the golden gingko leaves, we can just make out the far side of the lake where we began our wander today. And I think, dear friends, that this is where we will take our rest for today. Seems like a cozy, comforting spot to do so, amongst the golden falling leaves and the safety of the golden temple. However, I am quite enamored with the beauty of this setting. Absolutely a feast for the eyes and the ears, and deeply, deeply calming. Despite the often dark themes of this game, I find myself at peace as I wander this setting, just soaking in the spectacular sights and sounds. And so, if you, dear friends, would like to see more of Ghost of Tsushima in the future, it would be my pleasure to wander with you more in this spectacular setting. Please feel free to let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this and would like to see more. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining me here today. And I look very, my friends. And here we are at the end of the video. And at the end of the video, I have some special thanks to give out. If you are a channel regular, you probably already know that. If you make it to the end of my videos, anyway. These special thanks are for some very special people, those who support what I do here through my Patreon and through my YouTube memberships. They allow me the freedom to make the kinds of videos that I enjoy making the most and that I hope you enjoy watching and listening to the most as well. They also get some fun perks while they're at it, and if you, dear viewer or listener, would also like to get those fun perks and also have my eternal gratitude for supporting what I do here, please consider taking a look at the links down below at the top of the video description. The Patreon and the YouTube memberships offer the same kinds of perks, like early access to my videos, voting in a monthly poll to select the topic of a video on this channel each month, and at the highest tier, the Fusro tier, those fine individuals get a special spoken shout out in every one of my videos, every single one. And dear friends, it is my great honor to read to you right now the names of our Fusro tier supporters for this video, starting with Jake Luffney, Odin Sun, Drummer Brit, K Time, Smitty, Bruce Buchner, and Ragnarson. Once again, an immense thank you to those individuals and to everybody that you see here. I appreciate their support so very, very much. Thank you, channel supporters.